Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the panel, thank you for being here today. We always learn something, and every time I listen to you all talk, I realize that I know about a fraction of what I need to know about some of these things. And so thank you for being here. A couple of questions just for clarification. Mr. Gillen, I come from a state with a lot of space. There's a lot of rural area in Idaho, but it's growing, and the needs are growing rapidly. It's a fast-growing state, a lot of open space, a lot of federal land, all that. But we've touched on some of this, but just for clarification purposes, would you just share what's the cost of us doing nothing? What if we do nothing in regard to licensed spectrum shortage, identifying that? What's the cost of that?
The cost of it is, at its core, at some point, this is going to stop working the way that you expect it to work. A lot of the innovation and expectations we want to talk about, whether it's AI or anything else, isn't going to have that platform to ride on. So that we're going to need to make sure, from a licensed perspective and an unlicensed perspective, we have enough spectrum to actually meet our daily needs. The first thing you're going to notice in high traffic areas, you're going to see slowing down. And that's going to get progressively worse, but really we're accustomed to our wireless service getting better each and every year. Without more spectrum, that can't happen.
Thank you for that. So that just shows the urgency that we're under here. I wanted to clarify that. Mr. Powell, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us here today. On a similar topic, let's go to Wi-Fi just for a moment. I'd like to get your input. Wi-Fi handles, as we've talked about, a lot more traffic than any other wireless technology. Wi-Fi 7 is coming. Can you touch on that and just tell us what, from your vantage point, what's that going to bring, and what does this mean for spectrum policies as we advance Wi-Fi?
Yeah, if you had walked the floor of the Consumer Electronics Show this past January, you would have seen a ton of emphasis on Wi-Fi 7. Wi-Fi 7 is a next-generation technology that, in short, allows faster use, faster data rates, and wider channels. One of the things we're having to manage in the home is an explosion of devices that need to be utilized on the same network. So when you get wider channels, you're able to get applications that require lower latency. So for example, 4K or 8K video, or another example would be virtual reality systems of any type, and gaming. So Wi-Fi 7 is essentially critical to the kind of devices that are coming into the home and coming into the market as we continue to innovate.
And also important for research development, the unlicensed spectrum?
Oh, 100%. You know, we continue to use Wi-Fi in research environments, medical environments, environments that have heavy reliance on it. And the more we have these advanced systems, the better we'll be.
Thank you for that. Mr. Ronaldo, I'd like to steer a question to you. The Open RAN situation is an exciting one. Personally, as I hear you talk and as I just think through some of the things we've been through, I'm concerned about equipment made by some of our adversaries. You mentioned the Huawei and some of that. Some of those things that, quite frankly, at least some of us don't think can be trusted. What steps, if any, do you think that we should be taking in a leadership role to encourage trusted equipment, American equipment, whether it's America or anybody else, but trusted equipment? What steps should we be taking?
So the two biggest things that we face right now is lack of deployable spectrum here in the United States. So how do we get spectrum authority back up and going? How can we make more spectrum available? Also, as we look internationally, I would say how we use our investments, our international assistance programs. For instance, XM Bank, they have risk caps associated with, and telecom is such a infrastructure-heavy industry, we always bump up against those caps, and so no telecom projects are able to get funded. So we're currently working with Congress on legislation that would allow XM to waive risk if we're going up against a Huawei or ZTE. So those are a handful of items that could really help make a difference in getting Open RAN deployed around the world.
Great. Thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. I do have more questions, but not enough time to ask them, so I'm going to put those in written form. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.